Okay.
Mr. Sines, you need to enable your English globe. Well, I don't know how he's going to do it, Judge, because the client is right there next to him.
Alfredo knows Spanish.
Sort of. What does it mean when
Can
it
he hear
says
you,
post?
Ms. Valle?
You can't hear me?
Can you direct Mr. Sines?
Can you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Are you able to hear me?
Are we all set?
Yes, Your Honor. I can't hear this lady's on.
Your Honor, were you able to hear Mr. Sines?
No, not at this point.
Okay.
I can hear him, but you can't, sir. But he is speaking.
It's screen sharing is
so you
off
need
here.
to enable
Screen sharing.
No, I think since they're both using one device, he's going to have to listen in Spanish. I believe.
Screen sharing is not enabled, Judge. That's what's going on here. I don't know how to.
All right, let's see how far we can get. The court will come to order. Court calls case number 638022. Miss Flavia Valle, would you please raise your right hand?
Mr. Interpreter.
Do you solemnly swear that in this proceeding you will accurately translate from English to Spanish to English, so help you God?
Not coming through, Your Honor.
You have 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Your Honor.
She actually meant a moment rather than a second.
What's this?
Mr. Sines.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can, Your Honor.
All right. Now, the system is set up so that you have, there's a globe or something that says interpreter or something. Can you see that on the bottom?
Yes, sir. I see it.
Now, if you can,
yeah.
you're supposed to put your cursor on it, and it'll
Spanish?
show, you'll give you a choice of English, Spanish, or whatever.
Yes, sir.
And what that does is it closes you up so that you only hear Spanish.
Okay. Yes.
All set, huh? All right. Now, Mr. Guerrero Guzman, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that in this proceeding, your answers and materials you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sure.
Very good. Put your hand down, sir. Before we proceed, I have to talk to you about several important constitutional rights and protections that you have. Number one, you have the right to remain silent. That means that you don't have to say anything. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit any kind of paperwork with your signature, especially papers that you admit or confess to wrongdoing. Do you understand you have that right to remain silent?
Yes.
And In
Sí,
order to proceed in this hearing, you have to give up that right. Do you know you're giving up that right to remain silent?
sí,
You have several other rights. You have the right to a jury trial. You have the right to confront witnesses, which means that you and your attorney can cross-examine, challenge any witness who would testify. You also have the right to what's called the right of appeal, meaning that you have the right to ask a higher court to review the official record and the evidence in this case. Those rights you give up when you enter a plea like you're doing. Do you understand that?
sí,
All right.
correcto.
You also have the right to have this matter done in public courtroom. You can demand that we have this hearing in a public courtroom. But because of the COVID pandemic, we're doing these hearings on the computer. It's called a video conference. Do you agree to do that?
Correcto, de acuerdo.
All right. Now, I'm going to show you, by the way, the state has the right to hold this hearing in public also. Do you understand that? They have to agree to do this by video conference.
Sí,
All right.
correcto.
Now, just so you know, this video conference is being shown on a computer called YouTube. That means that the entire world, anybody that wants to, can tune in to the YouTube system and see and hear you and everyone that's here on this matter. Do you understand that?
Sí, señorita. Sí,
All right. I'm going to show you a group of documents, of papers. They're all going to start with the exception of one. They will all start with the information you see here at the top of the screen. It says cause number 638022, the state of Texas versus Jose M. Guerrero Guzman, in the county court at law number 5, Bexar County, Texas. This one says states consent to video conference. I explained to you a moment ago that the state can demand this be done in the public courtroom also, but they are in agreement to do this by the video conference. Do you see the signature there of the
Sí,
Assistant District
correcto.
Attorney, Mr. Andrew Harris Edelman? Thank you.
Sí,
Now, the next
correcto,
document
correcto.
is called the Discovery Acknowledgement. There is, it starts at the top like the other document. This says the title is Discovery Acknowledgement. Those are big words, but what it means is that there's a law named or titled Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. This law requires that the state gives you and Mr. Saenz all the information and documents necessary by law that allow you to make a good decision concerning this case. It is signed by Mr. Edelman and by Mr. Saenz. You see that?
Sí, yes, correcto. Sí.
Very good. All right. Then we have the next document. Again, the information like the others. And this one says defendant's consent to video conference. This is where you agree that we don't have to do it in the public courtroom, that we're doing it by video conference. Did you see this document and sign it?
Sí, señorita. Sí,
Okay. Then the following document, the next paper, this one has the same information at the top, but this one is called Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. Did you review this entire document carefully with Mr. Saenz?
sí, señorita.
Did he carefully explain to you all of what this says?
Sí, señorita. Sí, yes.
All right. Now, you were originally charged with DWI 2nd In this document, you agree that I don't have to read that paper to you, the official paper that accuses you. And then the third sentence says that you are pleading nolo contendere to driving while intoxicated. That means that this charge, the original charge of DWI second, has been lowered. Mr. Sines has gotten the state to agree to lower that charge.
Mhm.
Do you understand that?
Sí, gracias.
It's no longer DWI
Sí,
second.
sí. Sí, sí, gracias.
Then the rest of this document, all right, and the rest of this document is split up or divided into 15 sections or divisions. Each one is numbered. The very first one tells you how you can be punished for DWI first, what you are now actually charged with. This is DWI first. You can be fined anywhere from $0, no fine, to $2,000, and be put in jail for a minimum of 72 hours to 180 days in jail. Did you see and understand that?
Ujú. Sí, sí, sí. Ujú.
I can't take, okay. Now, the rest of this has been carefully discussed with you. Is that correct? You talked to Mr. Sines about all these, the 15 paragraphs?
Sí, señorita, sí.
All right. Have you ever been involved with the sex offender program?
No, no.
All right. And where were you born, sir?
Mexico, Mexico.
Are you right now a U.S. citizen or a citizen of Mexico?
De México, no, de aquí. Residente, residente de aquí, USA.
All right. Well, there's a difference between being a resident, a legal resident, or a U.S. citizen. They are not the same. Do you
Sí.
understand that?
Sí, correcto. Sí, correcto. Ajá. Yo entiendo. Sí.
So are you a citizen of the United States, or are you just a legal resident?
Residente legal. Residente legal.
All right. Now, I would caution you in the future, the federal government will prosecute you, punish you, if you claim to be a U.S. citizen and you're not. So you got to know and understand it's
Sí,
different.
correcto.
There's a big difference between legal permanent resident, called LPR, and a U.S. citizen. Now, Mr. Sines, in previous discussion, you indicated that you have carefully explained to Mr. Guerrero Guzman the consequences or possible consequences to Mr. Guerrero Guzman resulting from this particular case. Are you telling me that the requisites of Padilla versus Kentucky have been carefully completed? Are we frozen?
Sí. Yes. Yes.
Are we frozen, or is that his response?
What was the I don't know who's supposed to answer, but you answer.
This was directed at Mr. Sines.
Okay, dígame. Oh. I did explain it to him. Padilla know that.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Now, Mr. Guerrero Guzman, has Mr. Sines taken the time to explain to you that you can have serious problems with your legal permanent residence and even be deported as a result of these cases? It is possible. Has that been explained to you?
Mm, sí,
Very good. All right. Now, number 15 says that you can require me to have a risk and needs assessment done before we finish that. This could take weeks or more. But by your signing this document, you're telling me that you're giving up or waiving the right to demand a risk and needs assessment. Do you understand that that is what you've done by signing this document?
¿cómo va a ser? Sí, digo que sí.
All right, thank you. The next document,
Ajá.
this is where I, as a judge, declare to you information regarding your right of appeal. That vertical stack of little boxes,
Sí.
and next to each one there is a sentence that talks about the right of appeal. The fifth box, which is being shown to you at the top of the screen, I am saying to you, this is a plea bargain case, and you, the defendant, have no right of appeal. Did you see and understand this document?
Sí, ok, sí, señorita.
All right. Now, this next document is called the plea agreement, or the application, pardon me, for judge-ordered community supervision, probation. It starts
Sí,
off at the
correcto.
top with the same information. It's repeated because it's a new document. And this one, did you review this with Mr. Sines, and you understand what you're telling me under oath by signing this document?
Sí, yeah.
Thank you. Now, proceed. This document that we're being shown now, this one is what's called personal data sheet. This is your information. It has your name, address. It says that you're
Sí, correcto.
self-employed. What do you do? What kind of work do you do?
Construcción.
All right. And who do you work for?
Self-contractor, self-employment, por cuenta.
Okay. And I see that you make $4,000. Is that $4,000 a month?
$4,000 por mes.
All right. Now, you put 3 references. The information there, is
Sí,
it
señor.
correct?
Está correcto.
All right. You have no dependents,
No.
and you have, what year is your truck? A 2001 Ford truck?
Sí, 2001 o 2001 Ford F-250. Yes.
All right. Very good.
Mhm.
Now, next is what's called, the document is called a plea agreement. This is the actual deal that you've agreed to.
Mhm.
It's coming up.
Okay.
This will start off at the top, State of Texas versus Jose M. Guerrero Guzman, and case number 638022. I will mark the first box, which indicates that you have been told about your rights, particularly the right to remain silent. Then I will mark the third box that says that you are not a U.S. citizen. And inside the box with the dashing lines, it will say, it'll be marked that you have, that the law, the Supreme Court law that says Padilla versus Kentucky has been obeyed, that you've been informed about the problems that can arise from this case for your immigration status or deportability. And it will show that Mr. Alfredo Sáenz has fully informed you about your rights and what the possible consequences are. Then it has a section here with 5 boxes stacked vertically. Each one says something about different rights, the right of silence, the jury trial, all those things are repeated here. These are in writing. Did you check off those boxes with Mr. Sáenz?
Okay, correct.
All right. Then at this point, the state makes a motion officially to drop the enhancement of DWI second so that we can proceed with you on DWI first. Is that correct, Mr. Edelman?
That is correct, Your Honor. The state moves to waive and abandon the prior conviction enhancement and proceed as unenhanced DWI.
Very good. And defense, do you have any objection?
La defensa, dice. Question directed to me.
Mr. Sáenz, do you have any objection to the
Okay.
state waiving and abandoning the
No.
DWI second?
No
Ms.
objection.
Valle, can you tell me what his response is? Okay, Mr. Sáenz, you need to
Yes,
give
sir.
me a response on the whether you have an objection to lowering the charge.
No, I don't have any objection to that.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right. The court will be marking that there's no objection and that the motion is granted. Mr. Guerrero Guzman to the charge of DWI first, also known as DWI misdemeanor B. How do you plead, sir, officially?
No contest. No contest. No contest.
The documents show that you intend to plead nolo contendere, no contest. Is that correct?
Okay, correct.
All right. Now, I am ordering you to go to the courthouse, to the offices of County Court at Law Number 5, which are in a hallway behind the main courtroom, and make yourself available so you can have a thumbprint, your thumb, put on the judgment and the documents. Based on your plea of nolo contendere, I find you guilty, and I sentence you to 6 months Bexar County Jail, locked up, but they're probated or suspended for a term of 12 months. You are fined $500 plus court costs, and if you live up to 100% of the conditions of supervision, the $500 will be forgiven. But if you violate your conditions, if you drink or do something you shouldn't be doing and you don't live up to the 100% conditions, then you will have to pay the $500. You will also complete or do 48 hours of community service restitution. I will authorize you to make a donation in lieu of the 48 hours of community supervision at a rate of $12 an hour for each hour that you wish to do the pay instead of actually doing the community service. I prefer that you make the donation to the Gabriel Project. The staff will know the address and stuff. Or you can choose to make the donation to the San Antonio Food Bank. It'll be your choice. Now, in addition, you will, in good faith, enroll in and complete the DWI education program, the DWI Victim Impact Panel. You will have the Ignition Interlock. From this date forward, you'll do 6 months of Ignition Interlock on your vehicle. You are not to drive any vehicle whatsoever unless it has the Ignition Interlock, which means your vehicle, your Ford. During this entire 12 months of probation, you are not to drink any alcohol at all. Your supervisory fee will be $34 a month. Question, Mr. Edelman.
Your Honor, this is not a question. The Ignition Interlock for half the term, that is a recommendation, not strictly speaking an agreement. Under 42A.408, in this type of circumstance, the decision of whether to impose Ignition Interlock is discretionary with the court, and Mr. Sines will make his argument as to why the Ignition Interlock should not be imposed in this instance.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Edelman?
Nothing further, sir.
Mr. Sines, you'll need to open up your system so I can hear you in English, sir.
Well, we can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. Yes. Yes, we can hear him.
Yeah, yes.
I don't think you'll need
Yes.
to continue to translate, Ms. Valle. So I'm gonna.
Yeah. Is it my turn to
Yeah, just
make my argument?
just continue translating so we can
Okay.
get Mr. Sines in English.
All right.
Yeah.
Your Honor, Mr. Guerrero has,
Mr. Sines. He's
his
gotta get back
vehicle
in
has
English so I can
been
hear whatever he has to say.
equipped with the Interlock for almost a year now.
Mr.
And
Sines,
as far as
nod if you can hear me.
following the rules, he's done very well.
Your Honor,
There was one slight infraction, but it was
Mr.
very,
Sines is
very
speaking,
small.
but I don't think you
And
can hear him,
For
sir.
that reason,
No, I can't.
Mr.
was
Sines,
also
I'm
put
sorry to
on-
interrupt you, but the court can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what have we got going on here?
Technical difficulties one expects.
It says it's screen saving, I don't know, disabled. Okay. Can you hear me now, Judge? No? I'm unmuted.
Nope.
Let me see what we got here.
He's got to go back to the English,
Oh,
no
okay.
longer interpreting.
All right, okay. This is new to me. Okay, how about now?
I can hear you now. Orale.
Okay, Judge. It's my understanding that they're recommending that his car be equipped with an interlock, and he has had almost a year of driving with the interlock and has done very well with it.
Has he had any violations of
He,
that?
he had one, that was kind of, we never did understand it. It was a small infraction, and that was a while back, and they imposed the antabuse pill, and he's been taking that for a long time too. And so far, he's had no more violations. It was
Anybody know when the violation was?
Your Honor, he's had 2 violations and he's got an active warrant for that second violation.
When was that?
wasn't the arresto. When wasn't the arresto?
I'm gonna share the screen.
Okay.
The second violation was on February 10th.
21?
Yes, sir.
When was the first one?
The first one,
¿Te pusieron otra?
No.
the first one was November 25th, 2020.
We haven't had any, we don't know anything about the second one, Your Honor. I didn't receive any calls.
No.
Do we have the document on the alleged violation, the report?
No, sir.
No, I'm talking to Patty.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Patty, I have it, if you'll allow me to share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Te pusieron otra violación. Ya. Mira, ahí está.
That's July the 3rd, 20. That's probably the first violation. Yeah, it says that bigger and squat at the top.
It's a 7, Judge.
Huh?
It's a 7, July 7th,
Yeah,
2020.
well, it says the date of violation report received was July the 3rd, 20. So where's the second one? Mr. Edelman, do you have the second violation?
Not yet, sir. Let me see if I can bring it up.
Thank you.
Te pusieron otro.
No.
Que te llamaron,
No.
te mandaron.
No.
Your Honor, I cannot find it in file 360. In addition, I do not see an entry for it in JD.
Well,
I do see that there was a motion to modify bond restrictions filed on December 18th of 2020 that you signed on or about the same day.
yeah, but that would probably be in, I guess it would be in reference to the July happening because
Judge, do you want me to call Martha and have her?
yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
If I'm going to cut him loose, I want to make sure that he didn't screw up in February of this year, because if he did in February, then all bets are off. And I hear him religiously denying that to Mr. Sines.
I understand, Your Honor. Van a checar. Sí, a ver si le regalaron otra violación de Guerrero.
Yo sepa, no.
Mr. Sines, ask
Yes.
your client, your client if he's being supervised by someone that speaks Spanish.
Que hay alguien allá donde tienes la máquina que habla español.
Sí, yes.
Okay.
Yes, he, but it looks like he is, Your Honor.
Yes.
I heard him in both languages. See, yes. So how's your little grandchild, Alfredo?
Doing well, Your Honor. Time goes by fast.
Man, don't it? How
Oh,
old's
too
your
fast.
grandchild?
Way too fast.
How old's your grandchild?
He's a little over 2 years old, Judge.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Already?
yeah, already. It's pretty amazing.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
I contacted Martha. She's leaving at 3 o'clock, but she's gonna go ahead and forward it to me so I can share it on the screen.
Well, she's got 19 minutes to do it.
So I'm just waiting for her to,
Load it up.
yes, sir.
Well, we can check. Check. Aquí está.
I got it, Judge.
That's it.
Y si lo vayan aquí, es que no van a entender el resto.
Second violation report, Joel J. Barrera.
That's Joel J. Barrera, sir.
I was going to say Joel
Talking about
J.
Jose.
Where it's not Jose M. Did she get the right one?
It's Guerrero.
That's the right case number.
No,
It's not.
no, it's 638022 is not
Oh.
6885. I wonder if this poor guy's had this warrant out on the.
Sorry,
under the-
no, Judge. No, what happened was, I'm sorry, I was showing you the previous guy that pled.
Okay.
Sorry. I just wanted to make sure everybody was paying attention.
Okay.
That woke us up.
I'm gonna check on Mr. Guzman.
You gonna go get the mop, Alfredo?
Yeah, man. Don't scare me that way, Patty. I found it on the Bear County search website, and if there's a warrant out, they remove
Yeah.
it from that. So I was
Yeah,
confident.
no, he's clear, Judge. He's good.
All right. Now, Mr. Sines, where were you? Now that we
We
know
got
he
about
did not,
halfway through.
he had one violation back in July.
Yes, sir. Yes, and so far he's been doing well.
All right.
We just feel that he's done better than most people on the Interlock. He drives a truck for work, and he does subcontracting for big builders, and often he has to go into these gated communities, sometimes military bases, and they don't allow that sometimes, and it's been hurting his business. We just feel that he really has no need to include it for another 6 months. It's been almost a year since he's had it on there, and certainly not to hand abuse. I just don't think the facts merit it. It's just they don't warrant the imposition of the interlock. He's done well since he had that one small violation.
All right, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. While he's on probation, I will remove the abuse and remove the ignition interlock. But I want him to submit 1 UA per month.
Okay, Judge. No, yeah, that'll be done.
We got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Sines?
No, Your Honor. Rest.
All righty. Mr. Guerrero Guzman,
Yes, sir.
you've had some good work done for you by Mr. Sines. Don't let him down. Don't let me down. And don't let yourself down.
Okay.
But the worst one you don't want to let down is me. You understand?
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Alfredo, you and your family, Mr. Guerrero Guzman, all of you that are here with me today, be blessed.